some people get caught up in status and will hang with terrible people because of status. And what do you do with that? What do you do with people who, to me, that's a red flag about them. So from that angle, that's how y'all looking at it, where you say Donald Trump is a bad person and this black man is hanging with a bad person. So I can't fool with you for that. Right? But he said this is the president, like, he's nice to me, and he can look past some things. Now, again, I will say, just because of the mass media, I do believe they are, and they have done a good job of manipulating us to not like Trump. Do I believe in everything he's saying? Do absolutely not. Did I necessarily go out and put on a hat and say, make America great again? Did I, no. But in the same breath, I just feel like when it comes to, we can sometimes sell out for status, and that's just in general. Sometimes you might go hang with your favorite, you get opportunity to hang with your favorite rapper. If he didn't beat up on somebody or beat up a woman or body slam, and don't hear deadbeat dad, but because this so and so, I got to hang out with him. So some people do sell out for status, and that's not okay to me. But let's take it to personal life. What happens when, because sometimes there'll be cases, and I'm telling you, I ain't been wrong yet. And it ain't me bragging about myself. I know this is a godly discernment, and I will always say I'll never take full credit for it. But there have been people who I'm like, stayed away from the person in the middle, from them being with that person. The difference between me and you people is, you people, I'm not going to make a scene about it. I'm just going to do it. So say, for instance, let's use prop shot, like a prop. This is a bad person. Brush is a bad person, and Phone is my friend. Now, when we say what a bad person is, I'm not going, I don't put people in, oh, this is a good person, a bad person. I go off of how they move and things that they do. So say, for instance, Brush did some things that went against my personal, belief system, or, they move greasy, they move slimy, they move in a way I just can't really rock with. And Phone is my friend, and Phone is buddy with Brush. I would pull back from Phone. I will pull back from Phone because I'm like, you is some things you not seeing about that person. Now, if I just didn't like Brush, that's different. And a lot of times I think people would misinterpret when I would call stuff out about certain people. Oh, he just don't like them. No, I'm telling you, something ain't right. And at this point, I've developed the reputation and the track record where I've been right every time. Again, it don't all come from me. But so at this point, I feel like some people should be listening, but they don't, and that's on them. But in this situation, if I wanted to hang out with somebody, we talked about status, let's talk about in general. Like, some people have a bad rap, but they really aren't bad people. So let's talk about it from both angles. What if he really isn't as bad as the media tries to paint him out to be? You know what I mean? We have to have that conversation. We just have to flip the ball. And he did this and did. There are some things that he did do, but there are a lot of things that Donald Trump did do, or that he didn't do, that they've they've fabricated. They have. It's some things I'm like, that's not what happened. And I speak from personal experiences when I've been in situations where people did not like me based off of things that they were told, and it was fabricated, and it was based on a scenario where you only heard one side. Because at this point, I'm not defending myself. I haven't done that really in years, but based on this angle from a person who misinterpreted something, took it and ran with it, and then it just turned to some big old thing, and because of that, people just kind of stayed away from me, which is fine. But I've been in that situation where I appreciate people who did stay around, because they could have started hanging out with me because of this, and they decided not to. I think that we just have to, it's really a case by case scenario. But again, here we're going to get both perspectives, and we use the media scenarios more so as reference points. WWJD, what would Jesus do? Well, in that situation, Jesus was the person where, by the Pharisees, hated and critiqued, and the people around him were, scrutinized because of their allegiance to him. And it's funny because they looked at Jesus like Donald Trump. They hated him. Am I saying Donald Trump is Jesus? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, can we call Jesus a public figure back then? Would Jesus be considered a public figure? I think so, huh? Can we say that? Somebody please let me know.